Hello everyone, this is the Young Politician. It's Tuesday, which means it's time for a video. This video, as I alluded to in the previous video, will be about the shrinking deficit. That's what my article in the paper that's coming out today was about, and that's what this video is going to be about. Now, if you talk about the deficit, you'll hear a lot of people say the deficit is out of control. They will say, you know, we're spending trillions more than we take in. Well, I have some news for you. This year, 2013, the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, nonpartisan, has projected that the federal budget deficit, meaning the amount more that the government spends than what it takes in revenue, will be $845 billion. Now, that may seem like a lot, but compared to previous years, it isn't. Last year, for 2012, the federal budget deficit was around $980 billion. And the few years before that, it was well over $1 trillion each year. So the deficit is coming down gradually. The CBO has projected that by 2015, that year's deficit, if trends continue, will be only $430 billion. Now, that's an important milestone. Why? Because it will be lower than the deficit was the year the recession started. In 2008, the year the deficit started, the federal budget deficit was $459 billion. So by 2015, the deficit will be lower than it was in 2008, and will be quite near, actually, to a balanced budget. By the time you get down to a $430 billion deficit, I could work out some ways to balance the budget for you. Cut a few things, raise a little bit more in revenue, and ta-da, your budget is balanced, and we actually stop increasing our national debt. So this leads us to do two things. Number one, it leads us to stop panicking. You know, don't freak out about the deficit anymore. The deficit is coming down. It is being brought under control. It's not as fast as we want. It's not nearly as fast as I want, but it is coming down. The second thing it leads us to is the opportunity now to say, okay, for the first time since the year 1999, let's put ourselves on a path, on a timeline, to balancing the budget. Let's mandate to ourselves that we do that. You know, say by the year 2020, we have a balanced budget again. I would put ourselves on a tighter timeline, but I know the way Washington works, you can't push them too far. I would say if we have a $430 billion deficit in 2015, you could have the budget balanced by 2017, 2018. You know, so, and the good news is this will leave an important legacy for President Obama. It will mean that by the end of his presidency, the deficit will be quite low. Now, the important thing to note here is that it will be true as long as the trends continue, as long as the economy, you know, continues to improve, as long as we don't have to increase spending dramatically, as long as revenues keep coming in. And that's why we had those high deficits, because in a recession, you have to increase spending to, you know, keep the economy afloat, we have to bail out the banks and so on. But also your revenue decreases because less people are working, and those who are working tend to be making less money. And that's why Social Security has problems, because, you know, if 8% of the population isn't working, that's 8% of the population that isn't paying in anything to Social Security. That's why, you know, people are complaining about Social Security. I said the one thing you can do to Social Security is actually have a full employment economy. If you do that, Social Security is probably fine. Maybe you tweak it a little bit here and there, but you don't have to do that much to it. So the point here, and the point I'll conclude with this video, is number one, stop panicking about the deficit. Number two, let's use this as an opportunity to actually balance the budget and actually get our affairs finally back in order. And number three, the most important thing, is this will only happen as long as the economy continues to improve, as long as we get some real improvement in the economy. That is absolutely crucial, because if the economy double dips, if the economy gets worse, you can forget about balancing the budget. You have to have a good, thriving economy if you want the budget balanced. Now, my next article in the paper will be about how to create a 21st century economy. And by that, I go on to a broader topic of how do we fix the economy. And I think in order to fix the economy, you have to create a 21st century economy. I'll go into detail about what I think we should do. And that will come out next Tuesday. So thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.